is life and we need to save it, conserve it, please don't waste it. Use it when it's necessary for cooking, drinking and beating the heat. Save the water, save the water, save the waters.
Everybody needs to come together to conserve and to save our water. We can do it, yes we can do it.
Water is life, or we can lose it.
Pay for the service when you use it.
We can do it. Save the water, save the water, save the water.
During this evening's program, we will be enlightening you on 16 noteworthy accomplishments that have occurred between the period June 2017 to May 2018. Accomplishment number 1. Service connection upgrades, installation of transmission and distribution mains in Alberstown, totaling 70 million Guyana dollars.
Okay, so with that said, I would want to advise you, we have some slides on the side. You can also, take a look at that from time to time. But I'd like to take this opportunity now, if you follow with me in your programs, to invite a man who continues to be a driving force behind the successful operations at GWI. A job which he doesn't take, as light as a walk in the park, to oversee almost about, 12 offices countrywide. Yeah. I mean, my work alone within my small office sometimes seems so much, but 12 offices countrywide. And while he may not be receiving an award tonight, we wish to use this time to recognize his efforts in ensuring staff inclusion, satisfaction, and of course, getting the job done. And for that, we would like to say thank you. Please join me as we welcome our Managing Director, Dr. Richard Van West-Charles, to give some remarks.
Indeed, this is yet another year when we meet to celebrate 1 year of hard work and achievement. This year, from May 17 to May 18, has indeed been a wonderful year with trials, but with a lot of successes. Before I begin, I would like to salute all of our workers for the hard work that you have put in. Many people, when they are sleeping, are not aware of the work that you are doing to ensure that by the time they get up in the morning, your pipes are flowing. And I want to thank you. And I would like to give you a round of applause. I would also want to place on record the sterling contribution and the role of the board in working with us at the management level, in seeing us through many of the challenges and contributing to a successful year. And I'd like you to give a round of applause to the chairman and members of the board. Colleagues, comrades, we have had many successes this year in terms of expanding the services, providing access to all of the regions, barring none. But yet, we have still a lot of work to do. We have begun to ensure that that singular most important aspect of water quality stretches across all regions. And we have seen that with the cooperation of our staff and the water quality department in the operations department, that we've been able to expand significantly. At the organizational level, we've drilled a number of wells in places like Sparendam, Diamond, Sophia, and we are now drilling wells in Port Morant, and we have more to drill before the end of this year in Westminster and the area of Parfait Harmony to improve the lot. But we have taken up a lot of infrastructure that is not very strong. And so every day, our professional engineers are challenged to maintain the system, sometimes at severe odds. And I want to again underscore what you have done. We've had the challenges of GPL in terms of the quality of power, and we understand that GPL has its own problems. But we have felt the impact in terms of our being able to sustain the supply of water. In terms of water quality, the number of schools and the access of water by our children in schools have been a principal focus. In Georgetown alone, we've cleaned over the tanks with the cooperation of the Ministry of Education, over 88 schools in Region 6 and Region 3, Region 5, and we're moving into the hinterland also. But as the President has indicated, there should be no inequity between the hinterland regions and the coastal regions. And we've got some challenges for the hinterland regions. And I hope that in going forward, those challenges can be addressed with alacrity, as our sisters and brothers in the hinterland regions also deserve equal access to potable water. We've invested in our staff, and I think it is important for us to underscore that the investment in our staff in terms of the improvement of their competencies is not a luxury. Our staff have been, over the last year, been trained in India, in Japan, in the Netherlands, in the United States of America. And we have two engineers also earmarked to go off in September to the United Kingdom, and another engineer to Japan. We have, in order for us to be on the cutting edge, we cannot run a system with our engineers operating at a bachelor's level. Our engineers have now got to move to a postgraduate level, not in the area of business administration, but in the area of engineering, water engineering, for us to be on the cutting edge. So we have to invest. We've done our competency mapping, and we are aware of where the gaps are. In the Netherlands, we've sent quite a few, and as a result of the work and the training given to the engineers in the Netherlands, we were able very quickly to improve the operations of the plant at Sophia. And those two engineers are moving now with Mr. Sheko to improve the operations, the plant at Virginugen. In the area of finance and collections, from May last year to May this year, we've seen a significant increase in in our collections. About 30% increase, with focus on our arrears. And we have to do more. I think with the onset of zoning our country, we are going to see great dividends come this year in terms of our collections, in terms of the cleansing of the database, in terms of our response time. Mr. Barron and his team have done tremendous work in the field in looking at the leaks. It is as a result of that work that we're able to see the LBI tank back in operation. And we shall soon see the tank at Annandale in operation. And so our engineers, our technical staff, our admin staff, our revenue staff, I think are significantly focused on the mission. We want to be a company that is transparent and open to our customers. The website will have access to all of our water quality data. And where we have problems, we have no issue in confronting those problems in an open manner. When we looked at the collections, for example, we can see that over the past year, we collected more than $4 billion, 372 million. But still, that is not enough to sustain us as a company. And when we divide that between metered and unmetered, we see it's a 2-to-1 ratio in favor of the metered customers. And hence, it does not beg a question, but looks us in the face to say that it is a sine qua non that we must meter this entire country in order for us to be a viable company and in order for us to reduce the wastage of water, non-revenue water. We have to. And I hope that going forward, we can significantly address this matter. We have a number of communities in the hinterland that are really not having an easy time in terms of this access. When you look at the epidemiological data for waterborne diseases, you see the challenges. And I do not think we should delay any further with respect to trying to address this issue of water quality. In essence, access to water is a human right. And hence our challenge for us to deliver is important. My staff, we are now changing our paradigm in terms of how we focus on the customers. The customer is the center of our universe. And we have, coming up this year, a number of new initiatives. But we have great challenges. When you come to Georgetown, for example, and you look at the distribution network that is under strain as we speak, the network in front of Coffee is under strain. It is sweating. It is leaking. We now have to meet with infrastructure, the Ministry of Infrastructure, to see how we disturb the road network so that we can address those pipes that are in many cases, more than 100 years old. I saw a picture today of some pipes in All Boys Town, which should not be existing. And we have to find the ways and means as a society of prioritizing our focus to address these issues. Because many things are at stake. At the time when a fire may be occurring, as occasioned early this year in Church Street, the pipe broke, the pressure dropped, and there we are. And especially when it occurs in old wooden houses, there is no time to rescue. So we have some priorities. We are seeking to look at the issue, the singular issue of treating our sewage, commencing in Georgetown. We've signed on to the Sustainable Development Goals. The sewage system commenced in 1927, and yet we have not been able to find the wherewithal to treat the sewage in Georgetown. So we have challenges amidst the success. And therefore, it is my hope that with the board, the support of the minister, and management, that we can focus on these critical priorities for a better quality of life for our citizens.
Accomplishment number 2. A total of 10 staff members and 2 contractors benefited from a 1-week training in well development and maintenance and well drilling techniques over the past year at the annual Resource Drilling Fundamentals Training Seminar in Oklahoma City. This training is important in effectively maintaining the company's well and maintaining a consistent supply to customers. At this time, I would like to invite to the podium a woman who has supported the vision of our managing director, the execution of the company's improvement plan. Please put your hands together and help me welcome the chairperson of our board of directors, Mrs. Patricia Chase Green.
Dr. Van West Charles would have said the challenges that are being faced at the level of GWI. We strive for excellence. We strive to ensure as a board that everything that is being done at GWI is done in a transparent and in a fit and proper manner, that anyone at any time can be able to look at GWI as a model as we move forward as a company. Our employees throughout the years have been working hard to provide water, safe and adequate water into every household is not a cheap product. It has a cost. Our engineers on the ground work with alacrity. They can be called out at any time of the day or night to attend to emergencies and to do their normal work. As a board, and as chairman of the board, I would have been told of some communities, and I've seen it on the map, that I've never heard of before. And we were able, as a company, to go into those communities to ensure that safe water is available to the household. We try to provide adequate services in every community because there must be equality at all levels. On the medical side, you know, if you do not receive safe water in your home, the waterborne diseases that can affect your household, even to the point of where someone can die. We ask that every single officer, from the ground floor to the top floor, be vigilant to assist us. This afternoon, I know you're sweet 16, and as we continue our plan for the end of the year, and we move forward to year 17, we look forward for your support, your hard work and dedication.
At this juncture, I would like you to join me as we stand to invite a gentleman who is in charge of the Ministry of Communities and under whose stewardship the housing and water sector falls. Please help me to welcome the Honorable Minister Ronald Volcan.
It is indeed my pleasure to be here with you this evening to join with the management and staff of GWI to this very important and auspicious occasion to commemorate and to celebrate the achievements of GWI, not only in the past year, but in the 16 years since this entity has been created. Ladies and gentlemen, the Guyana Water, Inc. could very well be considered to be a bold initiative to consolidate water and waste resource services into a single utility for all Guyanese on the coast and in the hinterland regions under the Companies Act in May of 2002. It was a model that was adopted by many countries to improve the management and delivery of new infrastructure upgrades to existing ones, to allow for greater efficiency, and particularly, as we've heard from the managing director, in that very important area, to reduce non-revenue water and for the proper disposal of wastewater in the city of Georgetown. Over the last 16 years, the company has grown by leaps and bounds in both physical infrastructure and development of its human capital to support the expanded services. While Guyana enjoys high level of access to water supply services on the coast, as we have heard, we've been challenged by His Excellency the President to do more for hinterland communities and settlements, and to ensure that there is greater equity, or to reduce the inequity between the supply and access to potable water between the coastland and the hinterland. In this regard, we have sought to make improvements in the level of service, quality, and increased hours of service in the new and emerging capital towns in the Barima-Waini region, or Mabaruma, in the Patara-Siparuni region, and in the Upper Essequibo, Upper Takatu region in Letem. These communities will see significant improvement in both the quality and quantity of water supply available.
They said you wouldn't make it so far, and ever since they said it, it's been hard. But never mind the night you had to cry, 'cause you had never let it go inside. You worked real hard and you know exactly what you want and need, so believe, and you can never give up. You can reach your goals. Just talk to your soul and say, I can. And you know that
please don't waste it. Use it when it's necessary for cooking, drinking, and beating the heat. Save the water, save the water, save the water.
Everybody needs to come together to conserve and to save our water. We can do it, yes, we can do it.
Water is life, or we can lose it.
Pay for the service when you use it.
We can do it.